Angry Birds.
We were just mentioning Ange Williamson has been sacked by Cricket Tasmania about tweets that she made.
Cricket Australia.
Cricket Australia.
Yeah.
About tweets she made regarding a situation she'd found herself in. She had to go to Melbourne to have a termination for a pregnancy because there are no longer services here in the public system, apart from emergencies, and very, very limited private services
Yes.
in Tasmania. Now, this is...
Well, there are no private services now, as far as I know. I think there may be one coming back on board.
I think there is one
soon.
We
But
can ask our angry bird, Rebecca White, the Leader of the Opposition. Good morning, Rebecca.
Good morning. How are you going?
Very, very good indeed. Good morning, Jackie Lambie.
Good morning.
And good morning, Al Plath.
good morning.
Okay, this is something that sometimes it feels like decisions are made for women by men, and historically that was the case where women couldn't access contraception and they couldn't access termination of pregnancies that were unwanted. So you had a situation where women would just have babies until they could not bear babies anymore. And we've changed that around. Obviously, there are people who are right to life people, and I think we can all understand what the premise of that is, but should people still have the right to make those decisions themselves? Rebecca White, what do you think? Do you think that the services that are provided in Tasmania at the moment, where there is nothing except for emergencies in the public system and very limited in the private system with huge delays, do you think that's adequate?
Absolutely not. This is a topic that I'm really passionate about, and in 2013 I was a member of the Parliament that voted to decriminalise terminations of pregnancy. So previous to that, it was in the criminal code.
Was it really?
I can't believe that recent.
I honestly didn't know that.
It was,
But it was being conducted on a regular basis all the time.
It was being provided for, but there were a lot of doctors who were very nervous because, as it was in a criminal code, they were worried about criminal retribution. So we put it into the Public Health Act, which is where it should be, and the intention was always to provide better access to services. Unfortunately, there was obviously a change of government in 2014, and things have deteriorated really badly. And you're right.
Why have they deteriorated to this stage?
Well, there were more private providers. They've left the state, and what we have now is a circumstance where if you're a woman seeking a termination in Tasmania, unless you meet some really strict criteria, you can't get access to that in the public health system. Therefore, you've got to find more than $2,500 to have one in the private health system.
Wow.
There's only one provider in the south of the state, and my understanding is there's a 3-week waiting period. And obviously, people understand if you've got an unwanted pregnancy.
Timing is very good.
Now, I want to make it clear that obviously termination isn't contraception. So we would want people to try and avoid having a pregnancy if it's unwanted in the first place. But when you do get in that situation, surely it should be accessible. What do you think, Lambo?
It's in the Public Health Act. It's a health procedure. It's legal in Tasmania. People shouldn't be shamed or forced to fly to Melbourne for a service that should be offered here.
Jackie?
Well, if Michael Ferguson isn't feeling shame for the rest of the nation this morning, God forbid, get rid of him. What a disgrace. Yep. What an absolute disgrace, Dave. I can tell you now, for a woman to have to go through that, to make those decisions to start with, to get rid of, to terminate a newborn child is one of the most difficult decisions you can make in your life. And there are reasons. Many women have reasons, some they get sick after they're pregnant, their pills don't work, whatever. They've already got careers, they want it all. It's not because they're doing anything wrong, they just accidental pregnancies. And to making it so difficult for people to go and beg for help to terminate these children when these women are already going through emotional turmoil is an absolute disgrace to the state of Tasmania this morning. This has been going on now for months. And yet we can't get, a lot of these people are young girls that will now not have terminations, that will now be single mothers. And this is what the state government is doing to our females down here in Tasmania. What an absolute disgrace this morning. And I hope Maurice Blackburn actually takes down Australian cricket over this and those comments. I thought we had freedoms in this country. And if that woman can't come out and go against the state government and have a go at them about what's going on in this area without being fired, I'd have to ask Maurice Blackburn to please put the FOIs in, because if there hasn't been discussion coming from state government to Australian cricket, I tell you what, I'd be very surprised.
It's a really interesting one.
Is here.
Yeah. That's another part of the whole discussion, isn't it, what's happened with Ange Williamson? What do you think, Al? Do you feel like sometimes men have defined these policy over time and they've got no understanding of what women have to go through?
Men and religion. This is legal. This is legal in our state. Now, I actually find it a little bit, you know I love you, my friend. I actually got really upset when I heard you say termination is not contraception. I appreciate what you're saying.
I'm just
However,
saying,
I know exactly what you're saying. However, to hear that, no one would ever choose termination as contraception. No one. Because it would be, I know I have friends, I have family who have been through this. In every single form, every single way.
Same. Can I just ask, Beck, you would have had friends who've been through this?
Well, yeah. Well, Ant is a friend of mine.
Yeah.
So
And how about you? How about you, Jackie? Jackie?
Yeah, of course. You know, I know this isn't in my book, but after my second child, I fell pregnant and I had to take that option. So there's one for you this morning. So to me, I'm getting quite bloody upset about it.
Yeah, so
it was one of the hardest decisions I've ever made in my life. But I would be, I would have been a single mother during that, trying to bring up three boys. It was only about 3 months after I'd given birth to my second child, that being Dylan. And it was one of the hardest decisions that John, my partner at the time, and I have ever had to make.
That's right. And you're not the only one, Jack. Girlfriends of mine who have their families in their mind completed that this has happened to, and they have had to make that very difficult decision as well. No contraceptive is 100% effective. No contraceptive. So what choice are people left with? And not only people, couples and people in relationships, but young girls who are just learning about their bodies and, you know, maybe find themselves in a situation. I mean, it happened to me. I was 18 years old when I fell pregnant. I was brought up in a strict religion. I could not talk to my parents about it. I could not talk to my friends about it. So, you know, I mean, I had my first two children and I obviously I love them to death, but abortion wasn't an option for me because of my religious situation. I mean, I already thought I was going to hell. I was already so indoctrinated and going through such turmoil with that situation. But this should be available for girls in our state. It is legal. It is an absolute disgrace that it's not.
Rebecca?
Absolutely. Oh, I couldn't agree more. And just imagine, if you're a young girl on the northwest coast, so the service that we currently know we have available is in the south. So who do you talk to? And then if you are 15 and on a plane by yourself to Melbourne for the first time to access a service like this, and you're sitting next to somebody and they say to you, oh, what are you off to Melbourne for? What do you say? It's just a disgrace that we are putting women through this. It should be provided for in Tasmania. And the fact that it's come to a head the way it has is shameful for the Tasmanian government and for the Health Minister, Michael Ferguson.
Well, thank you.
You can't tell me that his religion hasn't played a role in this.
Thank you, Angry Birds. Angry Birds Part 2 coming up.